Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be something a little different. I have got my first Bromeliad planter today and I wanted to share it with you guys. It looks absolutely phenomenal and I'm looking forward to getting into Bromeliads a little bit more now that the greenhouse is going to be a little bit bigger. I never had the space for them before, but I picked this guy up the other day and I thought, you know what? This is something that it's a nice display and it would be so easy just to make it yourself as well. So I wanted to go through this with you. These guys are just a common bromeliad. I believe the Latin name is Guzmania. It could be a linguata. I'm maybe saying that right, maybe saying that wrong. But there's so many hybrids and cultivators out there. It's hard to tell exactly what kind of bromeliad it is. But I've narrowed it down to that, as I say. Guzmania is about as close as I can come on Google Images anyways. So I'm going to move the tripod in a little bit closer, give you guys a little bit better view of it. So although it looks really good, it definitely has a few potential problems if you're not aware of how to grow these. Now bromeliads are actually epiphytes. They are not terrestrial at all. They grow in trees and the roots prefer air instead of soil, so they're grown more like a normal air plant would be in the wild. That is where the first problem comes into with this planter, and I will show you here, just off screen. They are planted in a wet, sticky peat. So that kind of sucks because I don't want to rip it all apart as it's a brand new planter, but it's something to be aware of. I have got a little container here of the proper media for these guys if you were going to use a media. This is just sphagnum moss and some orchid bark. A nice airy mix would be so much better for these guys than what they're in. And to boot, when you look at the bottom of this pot, it actually doesn't even have drain holes on it. So have to be very, very careful when we're watering these guys. But it's got it's a heavy ceramic pot that it came in, full of this peat. It does have live Spanish moss as well as a top dressing, so that actually really tops it up nicely. Here, I put it on a turntable so you can see the whole thing. There's 3 plants in there altogether. And as I say, I think they're all the same Guzmania species or hybrids. But yeah, so there's a red one, sort of a maroony purple one, and I love this white one back here. It's got red with green tips on it. And let me just bring you in closer to this one. Look at this guy here. Isn't that one phenomenal? I love the red and then the green and the white. So one thing to note with these guys is that the flowers on them, like this here, is actually a bract. It's not a flower itself. It is just a colored leaf that attracts pollinators to the little flower. The little flowers are quite insignificant, unfortunately, but the bract helps attract the pollinating insects. So let me see if I can get a close-up here of the flowers. Just going to tilt you forward. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks kind of slimy in there, but I think those are the buds about to open. I don't know if there is a clear shot. This one here, the flower will come out of there. So yeah, these are just bracts. Now with these guys, and I'm going to tilt you back. There we go. Now with these guys, unfortunately, when you see the bract, it signifies the end of the life for the bromeliad. The final thing that they do in their cycle is they bloom, and bromeliads only actually bloom once and then they die. Now the good thing about them though is they are survivors, so all of these guys after they're done blooming are going to produce little pups, almost like a kiki would be to an orchid. So they're going to produce little pups off the base right down in here. I haven't seen any yet, but I haven't had a really good look at them. And the pups are what you have to save in order to continue on with the species. Now, when the pups are ready to be, we'll say, separated, and it's a long time coming, I'm going to plant them up in more of this mixture here instead of in the actual potting mix they're in. I figure because these guys, you know, in their final stage of their life anyways, to rip them out of the peat soil and try to get them to grow new air roots at this point is kind of silly. So I'm just going to let them be happy and let them do their thing and that. So when they're in a display like this, it doesn't matter too much about the lighting. It's really just for your enjoyment. The Spanish moss, I'm sure, would appreciate some bright light because it is alive. Just what I needed, more Spanish moss. I don't know if you've seen that video I did on Spanish moss. If you didn't, there's lots of care info on Spanish moss about 3 or 4 videos back. But I'm going to just let them enjoy their life there and enjoy the blooms. And then once they have the pups, I'm going to replant the pups into the bark and throw them out in the greenhouse. These guys can go down to temperatures of about 55 degrees, although they are quite happy at room temperature as well. And they like bright indirect light. I think at this point I wouldn't put them in full sun. I think it would cook them. As for the pups, when I have the little pups, I'll introduce them to the sun slowly. But yeah, I think all in all, you know, it's a fantastic looking planter. It looks really sharp. Absolutely beautiful. And as I say, this one here is just amazing. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this first Bromeliad video. As I say, I'm planning on getting a few more, so if you like Bromeliads, make sure you stick around. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching. I'm just going to take you up and show you these beauties up close. They're just amazing colors, and they're really reasonably priced. You can get bromeliads with like different foliage and mottled leaves and that sort of thing too, but I'm happy with this one for now. That's great.